Hello, I'm Andres and I'm from Colombia.
I'm Ever and I'm from Guatemala.
Hello, nice to meet you, Ever.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, Ever, what is happening in your country now, today, in this moment?
This moment, so there is a current event that is happening in Guatemala. So the Banco of Guatemala, called Banco want to implement effective monetary policies to reduce the inflation rate in my home country.
Well, I heard that you say that they're implementing help to reduce the inflation rate, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. So, well, I want more details about it and how they're doing it, how they help the people.
So there's like the inflation rate increases since like 5 years ago, and they're trying to reduce it because the money that is being used in Guatemala is like limited. So they're trying to reduce the inflation rate, and they can help people.
Wow, that's amazing
Yes.
to know. It's really interesting about, like, to know what your situation in your country. Even if you're here, you are aware of what is happening over there.
Yes.
So, how does it impact your country's economy, particularly the inflation rate?
So this current event is impacting the money supply and the interest rates. It could maintain. So if they implement the effective monetary policies, it could maintain price stability, and there could be less money circulating in the economy, and also banks can raise interest rates and can make borrowing money more expensive.
Well, I heard that you say that the manage of the money can stop like a little bit, and they are implementing like to increase the interest rate for each that people do. So that's really interesting about what is happening. Yeah. So I got you now. Okay, and I think we are agreed that it can help your inflation rate from your country, and it can help to reduce the inflation rate over there.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Andres, can you describe your current event?
Okay, perfect. My current event is the raise of the minimum wage in Colombia. Comparing the last year, that was $256, and $1 was equal to 3,915. But now the minimum wage is $361. So that means that today $1 is equal to 4,065. So that means that the inflation rate is increasing a lot, like crazily. It's shifting to the left, so it's being really crazy. As an example, as evidence for my claim, I have this graph right here, my friend Eber. And as you can see here, we have until 2021 for now, but it shows pretty much the situation of Colombia that start here, then increase and then going down. But right now, at this point, it's increasing like crazily. So that means that the inflation rate is changing a lot, and people is paying double for the currency in Colombia.
Oh, I heard you mention it that the inflation rate is doubling the price of your currency in your home country. So I think that could be related to our topic, and so we agree on that. But I want to ask you, how does this impact your country's economy and particularly inflation rate?
Well, right now, another example I have right here is the minimum wage. Because you can see that it starts from here, like people getting paid like 600, but right now people is getting paid for 1,400,000. So that means that it impacts really our currency, because they're getting paid like more, but at the same time the inflation is really high, so they're paying double for each product, for each thing. So this means that our currency depreciates.
So I heard that you said that they're being, like, at the same time they're being paid, but at the same time they're like
Spending the same
spending the
amount.
same amount of money. I'm not sure. I'm a little not sure why. So can you explain it in more detail or with an example?
Why this is happening?
Either why it's happening or how they're being impacted on getting money and spending the same.
Well, this is happening because of the government of Colombia. They are right now in debt with different countries. Like for example, one of them is USA. So they're debting like a lot of money, and they need to pay that as well. So that's why people is getting like the inflation rate is going up as crazy as possible. So that's the main reason why Colombia is like the inflation rate is affecting the citizens.
Okay, I got you now. Okay, so how does Colombia inflation rate data support your claim?
How can you repeat the question again?
How does Colombia's inflation rate data support your claim?
Well, as you can see here, we start at the bottom, getting paid less, but at the same time, I have the thing that you're getting paid less, but at the same time, the products and everything is paid like a nice price, and you can afford your life, your daily life with this amount of money. But right now it's really crazy that is going high. For example, $1 is equal to 4,200. That is really crazy. That used to be 3,200. So it's like a change, a huge change, showing that is depreciating the inflation rate
In your country.
in my country. Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice to hear about.
Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, do you have any graph to show me? I want to know more about your.
Yes, sure. Why not?
All right,
Always
perfect.
sure. So I have this graph that shows the inflation rate in Guatemala. So as you can see, since 2015 to 2020, it has been like not a lot of inflation rate increase, but it hasn't increased like a lot. But you can see in 2022, it increased like 6.90. Oh my God, what you doing? It increases to 6.90. So it shows like a big inflation rate. But now the Bank of Guatemala is trying to reduce it. So for example, in 2024, the inflation rate increased to 2.94%, I think. But
That's a lot.
yeah, but the Bank of Guatemala want to decrease it so the money can appreciate, and they want to reduce it to 1.79%. But at the same time, they also want like, if they trying to help, there is like on the other side, they are trying to increase the interest rates. So that's like a help.
Like pros and cons.
Yeah,
right?
like pros and cons.
Okay.
So it's gonna be like difficult for Guatemala to trying to do this, but it's a good thing about this is that only that bank is going to increase the interest rates.
Cheers.
The other banks are just trying to stay the same. So it could be like a pro a con to my country. Yes.
Well, I heard you say that your Bank of Guatemala, they really help with the inflation rate, like to make the money more valuable. But the thing is that they want to, like the main goal is to go under like 1.7. You say
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that really, I think is really interesting. And that the thing that I'm not agree with the Bank of Guatemala is that they really increase the interest rate.
Interest rate.
Because it's really like for the citizens is a con because they have to pay a lot more. So it's really unfair for them as a citizens to pay double for the debt they have, because I know that they're not getting really good pay for their job, right?
Yeah.
So yes. So I got you now. Thank you for the information. And
Can I add something else?
yeah.
So as you said, I agree with you about not being agree with the Bank of Guatemala doing this, but it could be like it is a really huge help because they're helping to reduce the inflation rate so the money can appreciate. And with the debt, maybe. So I know that borrowing money could be more expensive, but if people in Guatemala don't borrow like a lot of money, it could be like not paying a lot. So
Okay.
I think that it's better to get help in the inflation because it could help the money to appreciate, so they can be able to spend their own money and it could be like they can gain more money, but they cannot spend like a lot of as the money they get.
Okay, perfect. Got it. Thank you so much for your information.
You're welcome.
And that's nice. Let's discuss how we can predict our country's currency value change based on the inflation rate. What is the name of your country currency? How do you think the change in the inflation rate could impact your country's currency value?
Okay, so my country's currency is called quetzales, as you know, and with inflation rate, uh, I would say it could appreciate, as I mentioned it before. So I predict that my country's currency value, quetzales, will appreciate in the future.
Okay, that's really nice to know, and really, like, I'm really happy for your country's currency right now. And for me, I would say, well, my country's currency is Colombian pesos. In small letters is COP, and with the inflation rate, I think it will really depreciate in my country, and it's because for the past example I showed you guys the evidence, and I predict that my country's currency values the cup will depreciate for my country. So yeah.
Okay, so how does the demand would impact, like how the inflation rate would impact demand?
Okay, perfect. So let me show you again.
Because we want to talk about the demand, guys.
All right, for the demand in here, this is the minimum wage. Okay, perfect. So each product will be really, really wanted for the customers and for the citizens, right? But as we can see here, the inflation rate affects the Colombian people, the Colombian citizen, right? So the demand is gonna be really high, really high. It's gonna shift to the right, and the thing is that they will not able to afford it. So this means with this amount of money, they can just live, like pay rent and pay services like energy and water, and they don't have any money left to spend on other things. So the demands for maybe, I don't know, the clothes or eggs or something like that is gonna increase a lot, but because of them they cannot afford it, they will not buy it. What about your country? How is the current the supply, the demand change?
How does the demand change? Also, for my country, it is not exactly the demand, it is more about the supply. Because the Bank of Guatemala is not part of the government.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a change in the
It's
supply.
independent.
It's kind of independent. So the Bank of Guatemala is one of these. It's like the huge bank in Guatemala cities.
It's just in one place in Guatemala, or
It is anywhere, but the main office is this place.
okay, got
It
it.
is called the Bank of Guatemala.
Got it. So the demand, how is gonna change the
So
demand?
these are the quetzales. I told you, it is not about the demand, it's about the supply.
The supply.
So if the inflation rate increases, so the supply of the money would decrease. So, but in this case, the Bank of Guatemala is trying to reduce the inflation rate, so it will decrease. So, like, kinda, if it increases, it will shift to the left, but if it decreases, it will shift to the right.
Perfect, Eric. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for your information, and hope to see you soon.
See you guys. Subscribe to our channel.